Claude Code is the best AI coding tool right now, but it only works with anthropic models. What if I told you you can run it with GPT, Gemini, Llama, DeepSeek, and even completely free models? 2 terminals, AnyModel. I built this, and it's called AnyModel. I've just created AnyModel proxy for OpenAI GPT 5.4 model, so that all the requests I redirected to OpenRouter model. And when we actually run AnyModel, any request is redirected, in fact, to OpenRouter. AnyModel is an NPM proxy. It sits between the client and your model provider, like OpenRouter, Ollama, or any other OpenAI compatible one. It strips incompatible fields, handles retries, translates formats, and has no dependencies. Fully open source and free to use. You set the model on the proxy, and the client just connects. That's the diagram that visualizes the process. Let me show you this in action with a DeepSeek preset first, which is basically redirecting us to DeepSeek R1 05 to 8 model in OpenRouter. I want to have a clear command here, clean window. And what we're going to do is to run proxy with a DeepSeek. This is a keyword like preset that we are running. Usually you have to update to the latest version when there are some changes. We have it running on the port 1990. So on the right, let's go and run our npx AnyModel. Why OpenRouter selected as a default option for proxy? Because it has more than 200, actually 600 models already. It contains open source, proprietary, open weight models. One of the latest one, which I recommend looking into, is Gemma 4 from Google DeepMind, which was released just today, but already got some real usage. So if we click on Google Gemma 4 model, we could see the exact name of this model. And in order to use it, we have to create an API key. So I'm going to settings, API keys, and you need to create one. I already have one, so let me show you how to apply it. I'm gonna stop my proxy for a while, and just if you execute export and then enter OpenRouter API key and then Command V or Control V, depending on your operational system, entering this key, it's going to save it as nvar. I already have one. So this proves it. So I'm going to restart the proxy again. And then I'm going to give DeepSeek something to think about. I'm using Whisper Flow to dictate it faster than I type. What's 1 to 7 multiplied by 389? Think step by step. We could see it start thinking. And that's the results produced. Looks amazing. If you see it helpful for you, Please like and subscribe. It will help me to build a lot more powerful and detailed tutorials for you going forward. I actually prefer VS Code with its terminal more. And we've got the empty folder so far. But for the sake of the demo, let's stick to this Mac terminals going forward here. Let's build something great, leveraging Codex preset. So I'm gonna change the proxy to Codex. Install the latest version. And let's just stop it and run it again. Big's AnyModel. This time I suggest to build a small project. But instead of just wipe coding, let's use SpecWeave, which is the open source project that I've created in order to avoid this mess that you could get easily when running huge projects with many product increments which are not tracked with specifications. So basically, SpecWeave is about bringing the structure, and I have a separate video for it. You could watch a small demo available on the page itself. There is a proper documentation which you could dive into, but I also wanted to touch base briefly on the verified skill project, which is the registry of more than 100,000 of secure verified skills. So basically the main idea is to scan them with known patterns and avoid vulnerabilities when using or installing those skills. So there are millions of skills scanned already, and you could read more about it on the documentation page. So let's just take a brief recap what just happened. We could see that there is a backend, a node HTTP server, there is a frontend, animations, expressions. And if we look into the network tab, after I press the button compute, indeed, it comes to the server. That's fantastic. Codex model is relatively cheap via OpenRouter, but we still have to pay. Of course, way less than with the pro plans of ChatGPT, OpenAI, or Claude Code. Another thing that I wanted to show is that we could run Claude as well, connecting our Pro or Max subscription. So I'm gonna call AnyModel Claude, and I just stopped proxy because in fact we could just connect to our local Opus 4.6 model with my max plan. You could see configuration changes, usage. That was a tough week with some extra usage as well. Although I have actually 2 max plans. And let's give it a shot. Too easy for Claude Code. But let's see if we could use something completely free. I would suggest to look into Nemotron, which is quite a popular solution and works pretty well from NVIDIA. All right, just gonna use the preset, and that's the actual model that we run. Connecting to the proxy. What is the capital of France? Here we go. Amazing. You could run as many terminals as you want. What is the capital of the United States? And moreover, you could run as many proxies as you want. Let's just use another window and run. So this time we could run something on port 9092. And here we go. I'm just rate limited because I just did too many things with Qwen3 Coder, which is, by the way, great, fully open source and free model. Let me use latest Gemma 4 this time. Perfect. Worked like a magic. And as you might know, Agent Swarm is one of the most powerful features in agentic programming. You could basically hire any number of experts to work on a specific problem. Let's just leverage SpecWeave in order to see it in action. As we've built a beautiful web calculator, let's explore some potential, like with brainstorming on the future ideas, maybe building a scientific calculator further on, and do some kind of a code review on what we've got here. Optionally, for better visualization, you could install Tmux. I already have it, so I'm just gonna run it. This is the number of window that's created in Tmux. And then let's do npx AnyModel. And then let's just leverage the skill available from a SpecWeave called TeamLead. Analyze thoroughly from the security perspective, performance, implementation, our solution of web calculator, and also brainstorm the ideas for potentially new features and provide a decision metrics from different points of critics, advocate, and pragmatists. Let's give it a go. And that's what we see here. We already got brainstorm, advocate, pragmatist, and critic created. Though LLM could figure out it on its own, whom are those experts to best leverage and which skills to use? That's the beauty we see here. Agents are spawned. The default mode to run any model is don't ask, which means similar to dangerously permissions. Once the work of agents is completed, the orchestrator, the team leader, consolidates the whole information and provides the report. Let's take a look at this. There is a recommended plan to hardening sprint first with security headers, rate limits tests, fast ROI, feature pack, then controlled expansion. That's so beautiful. So those are the full critic, advocate, pragmatism inputs, and there is a consolidated decision view. What to do as a P0, P1, P2, and the whole feature decision matrix. I love it. But what if you want to go fully offline? No internet, no API keys. Let's explore Ollama offline. You'll need to install Ollama locally. I already have it, and this is the list of models that I have locally available. In order to grab a new model, you could do something like Llama pool Gemma 3n. And then it starts to grab it. I just cancel it. Let me run our proxy with AnyModel proxy Ollama and pass the model. This time it's gonna be this Llama 3.1, 8 billion parameters. Okay, as usual, let's switch to this and run it. Something simple. It takes some time to initialize the model, so we have to wait. During execution, I faced that I need to release a fix with this 35 version, restarted it, and basically got this weird message that I never seen before. But anyway, that might be some specific of this quite a small Llama 3.1 model, which is quite outdated. So what I'm gonna do is doing the addition. Let's see what we've got. Terrific. That's it. We finally got it running fully on local. AnyModel is free, open source, MIT licensed. You just need to get the OpenRouter key or run it fully locally. That's it. AnyModel.dev is here full of docs. Subscribe if you want more tools like this. I'm shipping weekly. Happy building.